Hello, Yakri here with another Dominions 5 video. This time I want to talk about movement in Dominions 5, really briefly actually, for once. And that is how it's different from Dominions 4 in more detail. So in Dominions 4, you could move a certain number of provinces per turn, and if you didn't have the correct type of special movement, you couldn't move through provinces like forests, mountains, I guess that's not a wasteland, but wastelands or swamps, right? In a single turn. Well, this is a waste. This is totally a wasteland. There we are. That's where it is. You can move through them in a single turn, right? You'd have to move into them with one move and then move out of them again. You couldn't like move over them using a unit with map move 3, for example. Now in Dominions 5. This is a little bit different. Not only, previously we had like a limitation to map move 4, that's gone. There's just movement points, right? And they can just get higher and higher. And different types of territories have different types of penalties, right? And different types of territory, for example, territory controlled by enemies have different amounts of penalty. And one thing this is really nice for is the nation Airmore, right? And I'm sure there are a lot of other nations that now can take advantage of great map mobility. Conversely, nations that had terrible map mobility in Dominions 4, like Middle Age Agartha, have only gotten worse now because their terrible map mobility didn't change at all. They just became the only people with that terrible mobility, right? Whereas certain nations stayed the same, and certain nations, like Airmore, became better. So Airmore can do this, which is something you could not do in Dominions 4. So, however you chart this path, I'm going over 2 provinces and then attacking into a 3rd province, right? And so this is particularly notable because in Dominions 4, you couldn't move and attack in one go. You know, now that I'm saying it, I'm like wondering if I'm wrong. And maybe I'm full of shit, but I'm pretty sure you'd have to move here and then attack into the province. And so the nice thing is you can attack all the way into enemy territory, right? In one fell swoop, straight in there, right? Move over multiple provinces. And this is not something you could do as easily before. In particular, if there was, I don't know if I have a good example here, but I think I can move limited distances over mountains as well, right? So this is going over the mountains and then attacking into the province, right? No mountain survival needed. Now, some nations wouldn't be able to do this, wouldn't be able to do this, and some nations still would, even without mountain survival. I believe they would just take a huge penalty. It has it listed here, so it's 16 movement cost for mountains, right? So if I had units with like, I don't know, 30 movement speed. I don't know if there are any units around like that. Maybe certain types of cavalry could move straight over the mountains and into this next province. Undead, of course, have high movement because they're undead and they can just march all the time. They don't care. Although I believe they're still subject to movement penalties as normal, I think. Pretty sure. Could be wrong. You never know. It's a very complicated game. But I think that's the whole video I wanted to make. Hopefully, I won't be wrong about moving into and attacking something. I think I'll test that later. But pretty sure that's how it works. And it means that for certain nations, there's a lot more flexibility that you can get out of this. Thank you.